Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. For the News First team, I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon. Privately owned lands with forest cover near Singharaja to be acquired. Court sends reminder to the Attorney General on legal action against former Defence Secretary Hemasuri Fernando and retired IGP Pujit Jayasundara. Europe divided over suspensions of AstraZeneca vaccine as investigation continues. Now those stories in detail. The Department of Wildlife Conservation has decided to acquire privately owned lands with forest cover surrounding the Singharaja Forest Reserve to the government.
Nishant Edirisinghe, the spokesperson for the Department of Wildlife Conservation, told News First, based on estimations so far, there are around 400 hectares of such privately owned lands with forest cover around the Singharaja Forest Reserve. According to Edirisinghe, despite the forest cover in these lands, the Wildlife Conservation Department has no provisions to prevent deforestation under the Forest Conservation Ordinance, given the lands are privately owned property. Nishant Edirisinghe noted a large expanse of close to 35,000 hectares of forest cover in state-owned surrounding the Singharaja Forest Reserve was gazetted as part of the reserve last year. By acquiring these privately owned lands with forest cover surrounding the Singharaja Forest Reserve, its safety will be further ensured as a World Heritage Site.
A tense situation arose with regard to an allegation that a politician is demanding for ransom from the gravel miners. This was during a meeting at the Mihintale Divisional Secretariat yesterday.
A special meeting was held at the Mihintale Divisional Secretariat regarding the problems that have arisen for the gravel mining business and various rumours circulating through social media that the Divisional Secretary has been pressured to issue gravel mining licenses. The Divisional Secretary of Mihintale, the Chairman of the Pradeshya Sabha and other government officials are also present at the meeting. During the meeting, a businessman charged that the taxes levied on the transportation of gravel on the Pradeshya Sabha roads were unjust. Responding to the allegation, the Mihintale Pradeshya Sabha chairman said that he would conduct an inquiry into the matter if there was sufficient evidence to prove the claim.
The residents of the Palugoswava area in Mihintale staged a protest against the acquiring of lands in which these farmers have cultivated for nearly 35 years.
The protesters shouted that government is now attempting to take over the lands they have inherited with the intervention of a local politician. They also pointed out that teak had been cultivated as a permanent crop in one portion of the area and that it is unjust to take over the other part of the area in this manner. The protesters staged demanding a solution to this issue.
The Mahayanganaya Farmers Union launched a satyagraha in the Mahayanganaya city centre, demanding a solution to the never-ending human-elephant conflict today.
One of the objectives of this is to support the satyagraha initiated by the farmers of Valsapugala. The protest is organised by the All Ceylon Agrarian Federation and the Mahayanganaya Farmers Union.
The Criminal Investigations Department told Colombo Additional Magistrate R. Jayasuriya that it is yet to receive Attorney General's advice with regard to taking legal action against former Defence Secretary Hemasuri Fernando and retired IGP Pujit Jayasundara. This was announced when the case filed against Fernando and Jayasundara for failing to prevent the April 21st attacks in 2019, despite having intelligence on the attacks, was called in court. The additional magistrate ordered for a reminder to be sent to the Attorney General with respect to taking action against the suspects and ordered for the case to be called up again on the 27th of October. A solar-powered air conditions and multifunctional bus hall designed by skilled army personnel in Sri Lanka Electrical and Mechanical Engineers Regiment was declared open yesterday under the auspices of State Minister Dilum Amunugama and Chief of Defence Staff and Commander of the Army General Shavendra Silva.
The M stop, which houses an ATM, passenger seats, Wi-Fi facilities, air-conditioned seating areas, CCTV surveillance, city map navigation system, digital LCD display for commercials, bus timetable, departures and arrivals, is constructed in Sri Jayawardhanapura Kotte. The air-conditioned seating area also includes a mini shop with groceries and reloading facilities.
ඉතාම කෙටි කාලයක් ඇතුළත මේ ස්මාර්ට් බස් ස්ටොප් එක.
This M bus stop was constructed in a short period. It is air-conditioned and also includes a mini shop. It is also possible to measure your weight and pressure from here. It also displays the time that the next bus will arrive.
බලා ගැනීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය උපකරණ සකස් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඊගාව සිටි බස් රථය පැමිණෙන වේලාව මේකේ සඳහන් වෙනවා.
සිටි බස් ක්‍රමවේදයක් ආරම්භ කරන්න යෙදුණා. වායු සමීකරණ.
We commenced the city bus service. We as an army are glad to provide an air-conditioned bus stop as a waiting area until the air-conditioned bus arrives. We will further take measures to establish such bus stops in the future.
මේ ආකාරයෙන් පිළිකිරීමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Meanwhile, journalists questioned the commander of the army whether further travel restrictions will be imposed in the country during the festive season.
සිංහල සහ හින්දු අලුත් අවුරුද්ද සමරන්න හැකියාවක් ලැබුණේ නැහැ.
We could not celebrate the Sinhalese and Tamil New Year. This time it will not be an issue. It is very important that the usual celebrations are limited. The necessary health guidelines will be issued within the following 2 weeks. Quarantine time period will also be amended in the future.
කරන ලබන දින ගණන් වෙනස් වීමකට ලක්වීමට හැකියාවක් තිබෙනවා.
Number 6 helicopter squadron attached to Sri Lanka Air Force, which is home to the Russian Mi-17, known as the Tuskers of the Sky, celebrates its 28th anniversary.
Number 6 Helicopter Squadron of the Sri Lanka Air Force was inaugurated on the 15th of March 1993. Former Army Commander Air Chief Marshal Gagan Bulat Sinhala was the commanding officer when the squadron was inaugurated. With the increase in the operations, the squadron was moved to the Anuradhapura Air Force Base Camp in 2007. The number 6 Helicopter Squadron at Anuradhapura, which is home to the Russian Mi-17, known as the Tuskers of the Sky, saved many wounded soldiers during the war. The squadron also assisted in relief efforts during the 2004 tsunami disaster and flood situations in 2017. The squadron marked its presence internationally by contributing to the United Nations Peace Force by establishing the number 62 class in the Central Africa region and 63 class in South Sudan, and also the only squadron to operate internationally. The squadron was also awarded the Presidential Colours in recognition of the resounding services rendered over 28 years. Group Captain Priyaman Fernando provides the leadership as the commanding officer to continue the squadron's 28-year-long services.
We draw your attention back to the environment. For the 60th consecutive day, farmers in Valsapugala are engaged in a Satyagraha campaign, demanding the proposed wild elephant management reserve in Hambantota be included in the government gazette.
Former opposition leader of the Southern Provincial Council, Estennakon Nilame, arrived at the site where the Satyagraha is staged to pledge his support.
It is the public, or very specifically, it is a group of farmers that is leading this protest. There is no affiliation to any political party. We would like to make a statement that we will stay with them at this site throughout all future protests.
Samagi Jana Balawegya parliamentarian Partly Champika Ranavaka has expressed concern on the need to ensure the security of the student who revealed of deforestation within Singharaja.
According to the National Environment Act, if any sort of construction is to be initiated on a land area greater than 1 hectare, which is more than 2.5 acres, an environmental feasibility report must be obtained. Such a feasibility report has not been obtained by the developers of the hotel that is currently under construction. Reports have emerged to that effect. Those cannot be discarded simply by saying the land is a privately owned one. The CEA and other responsible institutions should intervene. It is regrettable to note, by today even the CEA has become a party to environmental degradation, owing to its latest administrative team. If the minister who is supposed to uphold the provisions of the Flora and Fauna Act openly defends his henchmen who commit offences relating to the environment, if the president claims his words are circulars and issues permission to extract sand and minerals, if the IGP is ordered to turn a blind eye towards this, then we cannot even comprehend the future of this country. It is our responsibility to preserve the Singaraja, and it is our responsibility to ensure the security of the child who revealed this to the nation. Greta Thunberg is being hailed the world over for her action in encouraging students to combat global warming. We are proud to see such a generation of children emerging from our nation. Protecting Bagya is protecting the Singaraja for our future generations. We cannot allow rulers who have been vested with powers for a temporary period to destroy our heritage sites, while their families live lavishly in Los Angeles.
සියවස් ගානක් අවුරුදු දසලක්ෂ ගානක් පැවතිච්ච අපේ උරුමයන් වෙනසීමට ඉඩ දිය නොහැකි.
A special Satana program was aired yesterday celebrating the 25th anniversary of the World Cup win in 1996. You can log into our social media platform and watch the views expressed by the past cricketers. From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For details of the stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Martin Satyanesan. You have yourself a wonderful day.